From the far north of India to the country's southernmost tip, political dynasties carve up the political spoils. They appoint their spouses and hand down parliamentary seats to their sons and daughters as if they own them. Does this inject stability and continuity into the system, or is it a fatal blow to democracy? I'm the outsider. This is our motion tonight. Politics should no longer be a family business. Speaking in favour of that view, Sitaram Yechury, member of the Politburo of the Communist Party of India, the Marxist Party. Also Sudheendra Kulkarni, member of the National Executive of the opposition BJP, the Bharatiya Janata Party. Against the motion, Kalikesh Singh Deo, leader of the Biju Janata Dal Party and a member of the lower house of parliament. And Rita Bahuguna, she's a leader of the Congress Party and current president of the Uttar Pradesh Congress Committee. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our panel. So now let me please ask Sitaram Yechury for your top 3 points in favour of this motion.
Well, the first point is that politics is neither family nor business. It should be neither family nor business. You have 3 concepts here: politics, family and business. The moment you start treating politics as business, it becomes property that can be inherited. And that is where the problem is in India today. Politics has got to do with the vision of changing society for the better, providing a good governance, and ensuring the delivery of justice exists and is done in proper time. These are fundamental elements of politics, and these are something that cannot be either reduced to a business or reduced to an inheritance of any family. Therefore, I think the increasing trend of politics being treated as a business and therefore a family inheritance, which is very unfortunate that this is actually growing, and this, I think, eats at the very vitals of Indian democracy. We've given ourselves a constitution called We the People, and we the people will adopt this constitution, run it on behalf of the people. People are the sovereign. The sovereign power rests with the people, and they elect. And this is not something that can be passed over as an inheritance. That is not in the interest of democracy.
Sitaram Yechury, thank you very much indeed. So you think your party has the high moral ground where this is concerned, where this issue is concerned?
Fortunately so. Fortunately so, and I can say it without a tinge of even guilt, that our party has been one that has never practiced. But at the same time, let me add.
So you're better than the other parties.
Better than, but let me add one thing. I mean, nobody can stop a son or a daughter from becoming a politician.
Or a husband and wife, like two members of your Politburo,
yeah, but the moment...
Which goes against what you're saying.
No,
there you are, you have a husband and wife in the Politburo.
That is, if both of them have come into politics on their own, that is precisely the point that I'm saying.
Yeah, but you're still drinking from the same trough, aren't you? As all the other parties.
That is not, and even then, like no father can tell his son, like my father couldn't tell me what I should do. I mean, he tried, but he failed. But and he was completely opposed to what I'm doing, or that I became a communist. But like that, if a son or a wife or somebody else has got that vision, got that qualities in order to take the society forward and in order to mature our democracy, then there's no problem.
Okay, you talk
but the question is not as a family inheritance.
You talk about delivery of justice,
yes.
Okay, which is something that your party stands for.
Yes.
3 months after you had a Communist Party secretary of the Idukki district in Kerala boasting about political murders, he said, that were carried out in his district by his people.
which is why he's been thrown out of that position.
Well, he's been suspended for 6 months.
Yeah.
Which is just a little slap on the wrist, isn't it?
And the fact is that what he said was not the truth, and that is why the action took place.
But he was in a position to know. He said, talking about the political opponents, one was shot dead, another was beaten to death, yet another one was stabbed to death. We've done such things, and therefore no one should frighten us now with gimmicks. And this is the party. Party that you say has the high moral ground relative to all the others.
Which is why this is the party which took action against him.
Yes, a little slap on the wrist. A little slap on the wrist. But you didn't say it was wrong.
We did. Of course we did. Of course we did it. We said it was wrong. We condemned it. We took immediate action against him.
You condemned and disproved of the remarks that he used to justify the retaliatory killing of political opponents. You didn't say that retaliatory killing doesn't take place. It does, doesn't it?
Of course, the point of condemning and the point of refuting is precisely that, Mr. Sebastian. And the fact is, yes, you will have, I mean, they may be, I mean, there are always
So you're not killing
black
anybody
horses.
in your
No,
party?
one moment. No.
You're not killing people.
No,
You're
of
not
course
killing your
not.
political
On the
opponents.
contrary, we
so
are
why
being,
did he say it?
On the contrary, we are being killed.
So why did he say it?
Because we are being killed. There's
Why did he say it?
600 of ours.
Mr. Yechury, why did he say
That's
it?
exactly why we are asking him and removed him from the position and we told him to answer.
Temporarily. Little slap on the wrist
No,
for
it
6
depends
months.
on his answer.
Isn't-
I mean, depends on the answer what further action will be taken.
Isn't there a history of violence in your party?
No, not in my party. Unfortunately, no. There's unfortunately a history of violence in certain parts of the country, political violence.
But your people beat up Mamta Banerjee, didn't they?
Wonderful.
22 years ago.
Wonderful. Wonderful that you are 600 and plus of my party's comrades have been killed in Bengal since the last general election. Have been politically murdered.
And you tell me you're not fighting back with the same methods.
Where are they? Please produce a list of anybody else that we have killed. I'll give you the list and addresses of all these people.
No, let's just comment on the ones that your own party secretary in Idukki district brought out.
What he said was absolutely, and he was talking about something 20 years ago.
You still say you have the high moral ground.
Of course I do.
All right, okay.
Of course I do.
All right, Mr. Yechury, thank you very much indeed. Now could I ask Kalikesh Singh Deo to speak against the motion? Your top 3 points for being against the motion.
Families in politics are not unique just to India. You have the Kennedys, you have the Bushes, Sri Lanka, Malaysia. It's there in Western developed worlds too. And families is not unique to just politics in India. Look at Bollywood. I bet there are more star sons than there are, politicians' children in parliament. Mukesh Ambani, Ratan Tata. When is the day we don't have an Ambani at the head of Reliance or a non-Parsi at the head of Tatas? These are very good developed companies. The point is, just because they come from a certain stock doesn't mean they're not competent. They can be very well competent. Families, the name a family carries, acts as a platform to launch you in politics. Beyond that, you have to go through the fire and brimstone test of elections. You have to win elections. You have to fight elections. All you can do is get a ticket. The advantage that some people have when they get known because of the family names is the fact that young people from diverse backgrounds, engineers, doctors, investment bankers, become politicians. Whereas, if you go up the ladder of the rung, you'll go from 5 years as a sarpanch, 5 years Samiti member, 5 years as block chairman, Zilla Parishad, MLA, MP. 30 to 40 years it'll take you to get into parliament. We have a definite advantage to some extent because of family names. Tim?
All right. Thank you very much indeed, Kalikesh Singh Deo. You don't just get a ticket like a bus ticket, do you? You get the muscle, the influence, and the money. Daddy's muscle, daddy's influence, and daddy's money. What's the difference between that and the mafia?
I don't know about the other parties, but I can tell you most political parties will only give you a ticket if you can win, no matter which family you come from. If the family name adds value to your winning, then they will give you the ticket. If it takes away from you getting from your chances of winning, they will not give you a ticket.
But you know, and I do as well, that it's the networks of patronage that you get that come ready-made, which are already dedicated to your father, dedicated to your family. You get that ready-made. So you don't have to work so hard, do you? You said so yourself in March at the India Today conclave. You said, of course, the fact that I was my father's son helped me get a ticket. Maybe access to an organisation of party workers, which others would have had to work much harder for. So you can be lazy and just walk into it.
Of course it does, which is why you have a lot of younger people in parliament today. Whereas if you had to work those 20, 30 years to develop that organisation, you would actually take away from the diversity and the youth and the advantage of a young parliament.
What you also pointed out at that conclave was what worried you about the whole system of family dynastic politics. You said that the control political families have on the inner democracy of political parties, controlled by individuals who tend to create a cult-like situation, the complete absence of inner democracy workings in these parties. You're on the wrong side, aren't you? You've just given fairly convincing arguments against your own position.
Not at all. I still maintain that. If a person...
You think it's a recommendation that you have a complete absence of inner democracy workings in your parties?
I said, if that situation were to arrive in the conclave, I didn't say that situation has arisen. I said, if that situation tends to arise in any political party, where the competence of a person is set aside or ignored, for the
You
cult-like
didn't say
feeling
if,
of the
actually.
family.
You said, what is worrying to me is the control political families have on the inner democracy of political parties. I listened quite closely to what you said. That's exactly what you said, actually.
Well, maybe in certain political parties that do happen. I can tell you from my experience in my political party, we talk of competence. In fact, my ticket, when the first time I actually got the ticket, was after due deliberation, at me first being refused the ticket, we're going back to Delhi and then being called back because they didn't have an option.
OK, you pointed out also that this could at times lead to a situation where the leader is not able to carry the voters forward, but will not allow another leader to rise and therefore stifles and suffocates that party.
Absolutely.
So you're talking about dynastic politics stifling and suffocating parties.
Well,
you should really be on that side, shouldn't you?
Not at all.
You're most welcome. Yeah.
We'll get you another chair.
You assume family politics is at the cost of competence. The situation you're talking about, which I did mention in the India Today conclave, was when the competence of a leader stands in the way of the growth of a political party. And if in that situation, the family name still carries forward, I think that's bad for politics and that's bad for democracy.
Okay,
but it does not mean...
But it's interesting that you sought to signal out the dangers rather than the advantages of dynastic
Both, actually. You're quoting only 2 minutes of my 15-minute speech.
All right, Kalikesh Singh Deo, thank you very much indeed. Well, we always quote selectively, don't we? All right, could I please ask Sudheendra Kulkarni to speak for the motion, please? Your top 3 points.
See, I'll begin with the preamble of the Indian Constitution. It says, we the people have constituted solemnly India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. Now, equality is integral to each of these preamble principles. Sovereignty, there cannot be sovereignty of a nation without the people being equal. Socialism, we are proud to call ourselves a socialist republic, and equality is the basic principle of socialism. Secularism, there can be no discrimination on the basis of caste, community. Similarly, democracy, equal opportunity.
Religion.
What is happening today is that increasingly our democracy is becoming a victim of dynasticism. You know, I have a book here with me by Patrick French. There's a chapter here, Family Politics.
Good Indian name.
India, a portrait. And he says, you know, an empirical study done by him shows that today, in today's parliament, almost all members of parliament below 25 are hereditary. 2/3 of members of parliament below age 40 are hyper-hereditary. And the worst culprit is the Congress party. 27 members of parliament are hyper-hereditary and 19 belong to the Congress party.
When you say hyper-hereditary, you mean there are different members, multiple members of the same family.
That family has several members of parliament, members of state legislatures. It's a family business. And the hyperest hereditary family in India is the family of Nehru. You know, my friend here, Rita ji, is the president of the Congress party in Uttar Pradesh. In the recent Uttar Pradesh assembly elections, the 7th generation of the Nehru family was paraded in front of television cameras in Amethi, which is the pocket borough of the Gandhi family.
All right, Sudheendra Kulkarni, thank you very much indeed. So you're dead set against dynastic politics?
Of course.
Okay? Have you
especially when it becomes a family business.
Have you told anyone else in your party about that?
Of course, I'm concerned.
I ask you because of the Scindias. We have 2 daughters and a grandson there. We have the Singhs, Pankaj Singh and Father Rajnath Singh. We have more Singhs, Mavendra Singh and Father Jaswant Singh. We have the Vajpayis, the ex-Prime Minister and foster son-in-law, and niece Karuna Shukla. So this is why I ask you, did you ever tell anybody in your party?
Let me tell you, in front of everybody, I am concerned that dynasticism is creeping into even the Bharatiya Janata Party, and it's a matter of concern, and we must fight.
In?
Of course.
It's doing a little more than creeping in.
Of course, I agree with you.
It's taking it over wholesale, isn't it?
We have to fight this family business of dynasticism wherever it manifests itself.
So you repudiate it in your own party as well, do you?
Ours is a democratic party.
It's a simple question.
Ours is a democratic party, but let me tell you.
I'm asking you, do you repudiate it just in Congress party or in the BJP as well?
You see, the top leadership in our party is not reserved for any particular...
We do need a simple answer on that. Do you repudiate it wherever you find it, in whatever party?
Of course I'll repudiate it.
So you're going to tell the rest of your party that?
Of course I will.
Yeah?
I will.
Why haven't you done so already?
How do you know I haven't done it? How do you know I haven't done it?
Well, have you?
Of course I have.
Oh, you have. Multiple occasions. Okay. You also say that dynastic politics undermines Indian democracy and leads to corruption.
Of course.
Is there any evidence that the Congress party is any more corrupt than the BJP?
You know, there is a new type of corruption that we are seeing today, where more and more politicians, as Comrade Sitaram said, they have made politics into family business. We have the very recent news of a former...
Yeah, but you're not dealing with the criminal charges. Is there Is there any evidence that dynastic politics produces more criminal charges than non-dynastic politics?
Of course. I'll give you evidence, if you permit me.
Would I deny you anything?
then take the evidence. We have a former telecom minister. Just a few days ago, the CBI is going to charge sheet him for the fact that he deliberately twisted the policy to favor a particular company, which then invested $100 million into his own family's company.
That's one incident. I want to point out that the website Indian Defence did a survey in August last year. It said that for every MP with criminal charges in the Congress party, and that was 41 at that time, there was an equal number in the BJP. Actually, one more, 42 at that time.
I am not here to defend the wrong things in my party. I am here to oppose wrong things that have, that have not just crept in, but that are really polluting Indian democracy, whichever party has contributed to it.
All right, Sudheendra Kulkarni, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Could I please ask Rita Bahuguna to speak against the motion? Your top 3 points.
Well, it's a very interesting subject, and I really don't like the word dynasty, because in politics, we are not living in a monarchical system. We are living in a largely democratic system in the world. And when we talk about dynasty, I think it is very unsuitable, and it's unjustified for the families that are into politics. I clearly feel that our democracy, as Kulkarni ji said, our preamble, our constitution, gives a right to every individual to pursue the path which they think is closest to their heart. Why do we presume that the family members of politicians do not have an ideology, that they are not capable? I mean, you just go around and see most of the family members of the politicians who are in important positions today have established themselves as professionals elsewhere. And then they have entered politics. They have not taken it up as a profession. They already are professionals. So I feel that our constitution, and we are the largest democracy, gives us ample of field to, why should we shy out? If my father was a politician, if he was a chief minister, he was a central minister, I'm a professor in the university, why cannot I, at any point of time, feel that I can contribute to the public life and enter public life? So here I feel that just to oppose the motion or to be with the motion is not the question. The question is ability and capability. And if there is ability, anybody of the family or many of the family can enter politics. After all, there are 54 British families in UK. They have contributed for not decades, but centuries to the politics of that country. There's so many nations about which right? In not only Asian countries, but also Western world, whether it's US or it's England or it's Argentina in South America, or it's from Philippines to Thailand to Malaysia, families have been contributing. And I feel politics can never become a profession. Politics is what you feel for an issue, and you enter the field or arena of politics.
Rita Bahuguna, thank you very much indeed. The election results that Congress scored in Uttar Pradesh earlier this year gave you a pretty bloody nose, gave dynastic politics a pretty bloody nose, because there were quite a few families that got knocked out of the race, didn't they?
So that is what I'm saying.
So they're telling you something, aren't they?
No, it's good. That's what I'm saying. See, these are two questions.
Dynastic politics is a problem in this country, isn't it?
No, it is not.
Oh, so you put yourself right against Rahul Gandhi.
It's not dynastic.
Rahul Gandhi thinks it's a problem.
No, Rahul doesn't matter. I have my own views.
I'm asking you if you're putting yourself against him. You said no. Actually, you are.
Will you let me speak?
I will, definitely.
Just give me 30
I'd like you to answer the
30
question
seconds,
as well.
30 seconds.
No,
30
that's too long.
No.
I'd like you to answer the question. That's almost
The
a party
question is,
political broadcast.
The first time the member of a political family enters politics, the electoral field, that time there is some favor to him. But if the electorate has supported him once in the name of the family, and if he comes back the second, the third, the fourth times, which means he's on his own steam.
Okay.
Why should
Rita
we presume
Bahuguna,
that they don't have their own abilities?
The fact is that the most visible representative of dynastic politics in this country at the moment, Rahul Gandhi, says it's a problem. He told the New York Times, my father was in politics, my grandmother and great-grandfather were in politics, so it was easy for me to enter politics. This is a problem, he said. I am a symptom of the problem.
No, it's not a problem.
So you disagree with him entirely?
Let me say, what he said was correct. The first
you can't have it both ways.
The first entry into politics, maybe as Rahulji said, was because of his family background. But he has won elections one after the other. He's a popular leader in the country.
He didn't do much for you in Uttar Pradesh, did he?
He's a very popular person.
He staked his personal prestige.
It's because we do not change our ideology.
He staked his personal prestige in Uttar Pradesh.
No, he did not. He did not.
He didn't campaign in Uttar Pradesh, long and hard?
In all the speeches he said, I've come to you with the viewpoint of the Congress. You may accept me or reject me. Rahul Gandhi will stay. And we will keep talking to you and speaking to you until you are convinced.
And
he never said.
They rejected him.
He did not reject him. They
were
not ready for the Congress.
He only staked his personal prestige on the election results in Uttar Pradesh, and you lost badly.
UP is, you know, it has caste politics.
And you even offered to resign.
I have. Why not? It's moral responsibility. If as the head of the party, I could not bring the
results were so bad. The results were so bad.
No matter, because there.
So the electorate is trying to tell you
enough. It's caste politics.
They're trying to tell you enough.
It's not family politics. It is caste politics in UP. Everybody knows here.
And if it was caste politics, it would be family politics.
It has vitiated the political system in our state.
Okay, Rita Bahuguna, thank you very much indeed. All right, we're going to take a break now. When we come back, a question to the audience. How much faith do you have in today's Indian politicians? Quite a lot or not much at all? Join us in a moment. Welcome back. During the break, we took a poll among our studio audience and asked them how much trust they had in today's Indian politicians. Quite a lot or not much at all. The vote is in. The results are pretty staggering. Only 9% said they had quite a lot of confidence. 91% said not much at all. A quick reaction. Kalikesh Singh Deo. They don't think much of you people.
I agree with them. I agree with them. I think what we've been up to for the last couple of decades that I've been, I've been keeping a track of things. I think there's a lot that the political world has not been able to deliver or fallen short of.
All right, Sitaram Yechury, your reaction to that?
Well, it's not surprising at all. And I mean, it actually reflects even what I think many times. But I want to add a caveat.
You're part of it.
Yes, that's why I want to add a caveat. And that caveat is like there are people and people, there are politicians and politicians. And you cannot today talk in terms of politics as a generalized mass or a physical mass of people that are there in Parliament.
Okay, Rita Bahuguna.
So there you'll have to make it.
Just very quickly.
No, I agree with him, but I also want to say that, you see, ever since in the past 2-3 decades, caste, religion, and regionalism has become very dominant in politics. And that is why people feel that there is no national perspective which is governing the politicians in the country.
Okay,
that has resulted in this
very quickly, Sudheendra Kulkarni.
You know, the four of us belong to different parties.
Yeah, but they were talking about all of you.
All political parties have contributed to this reality. It's not just a perception, it's a reality.
Are you shocked? Are you shocked?
I'm absolutely shocked. And we are here, at least some of us are here, to cleanse Indian politics. That is the mission.
Okay.
And as Sitaram said, there are politicians, and you can't, take a brush and tar all of them as being corrupt as being self-centered.
Okay. All right. Okay, well, we'll get a chance to hear more in detail from the audience as we take their questions on the motion that politics should no longer be a family business. If you have a question, please put up a hand. We'll get a microphone to you as quickly as possible. Gentleman on the far right, I think you were first.
And my question to the panelists there is, sir, the dynasty politics, as said by as the motion goes, will be there in Indian politics. It just can't go away. You know, no constitution can stop you from not pursuing the same career which your father or mother were, right? My point is the youth of India, like me or like anyone over here, if we want to be a part of Indian parliament or Indian democracy, we don't find a way because the tickets are just reserved for the children of the politicians.
Okay.
So what about youth like us?
I'll come to you in a moment. Kalikesh Singh Deo, let me come to you first.
As a percentage of the total tickets given in my party, I think about 25% in the state assembly, 25% were political families or relatives. I'm not just saying father and son and daughters, but larger relatives of politicians. The rest were all grassroots politicians. So it's not as if you cannot get a ticket to the state assembly or any form of politics that you want to do. You also know that a lot of the grassroots politics is done at the Sarpanch Samiti level, which is without a political ticket. There's no party membership there. So you can actually fight, make a name for yourself and come up.
100% of the MPs under 30 are hereditary, though, aren't they? 100%. That seems a pretty exclusive club, doesn't it?
In today's day and age, there are not too many people under 30 today. I don't know when you're talking about, maybe 2009.
2/3 of Indian MPs under the age of 40 are from political families. That doesn't open the club up much either, does it?
You know,
so what can you say to encourage him?
See, one, like our political party has opened up membership and an election system for the youth to come up within the political structure.
That doesn't
work. 1 second. 42 nominations in my party in the UP elections were given to youth below 35.
Okay, all right. Are you buying this argument? Are you buying this argument?
Not really, sir, because I attended a lecture by Rahul Gandhi some two years ago, and he invited all the youth to the Congress party, and I enrolled myself in it. But then it doesn't really work, you know. Somehow the system favors.
Okay, Sitaram Yechury. Sitaram Yechury, I'm going to bring you in here.
No, I think, Mr. Sebastian, all of us must understand one thing. What is worrisome is the percentage and the trend of treating it as a family business growing. There's still a majority of Indian Parliament who are not from any family. Please understand that.
Yeah.
And that is what we have to bring it back to the fact that it is not treated as a career. Like the moment you start treating politics as a career, then it is not politics. Politics is about, as I said, changing society, improving a system of governance, delivering justice. I mean, you have to be a passion for it. It's not as a professional career or in a family inheritance.
I disagree with Sitaram. I think we should try and get the best people that we have in a country into politics and pay them legitimately the best kind of financial packages so we attract the best and make it a full-fledged career.
But that's not a career. It's not a career, Kalikesh. It's not a career.
It cannot
No,
be.
you give them remuneration, all that is
Kulkarni.
fine. But it's not a career. Moment you start treating it as a career, then the pursuit of that leads you to, and it ends up in family business.
Okay, Sudheendra Kulkarni.
You know, my young friend there used a very important word, reservation. You know, in the Congress party and in several other parties, the top office is today reserved. There's a reservation policy. Nobody, even with ability, potential, performance, experience, knowledge, can aspire or claim the top office.
I totally disagree with you.
In your party,
We are
tell
all
me,
sitting
Rahul Gandhi, is there a contender to Rahul Gandhi in your party? That office,
But
that position
how are you
is
worried
reserved.
about it? It's our party business.
No, you can't say it's...
It's our party. We decide. We decide who leader.
Okay, please don't shout at the same time.
For you to project him as next Prime Minister?
Why do you have Varun Gandhi on your side, please? Why do you have Varun Gandhi on your side?
He's not being projected as a Prime Ministerial candidate.
Okay.
He's not being projected as Prime Ministerial candidate.
You made him the face of elections in UP.
Okay, I'm going to take a question.
He was your mascot.
I'm going to take a question from the lady up there. Thank you.
And my question is directed to Ms. Bahuguna. Madam, you've been talking about the capabilities and abilities of the contenders for the parties. And you've also said that the people you're giving tickets to for the elections, they have already been established professionals in their specific fields. given the brand ambassador of your Congress party, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, whose academic or educational background is not so strong, do you really think that any of us sitting out here, we are MBA students, do you really mean by saying that we are not as capable as Mr. Gandhi?
No, there are two. There are two aspects to your question. The first is, as Rahul Gandhi himself has said, and we are saying, that the first break into politics or entry point in politics was because of the progeny, because of the family. That he got. But then he established himself as really concerned for the plight of the people. He toured the nation, and you all supported him. And thrice he has won an election, so he's an established people's leader today. The second question
is he the most talented person in your party?
I'm coming to that.
Or does he just have the best name?
I'm coming to that.
Which is it?
That does not prevent you or people like you from entering politics. There are so many professionals who are entering politics without any political background.
So how do you suggest this lady enters politics? How do you suggest she enters politics?
But what I suggest is...
You'll give her a ticket, will you?
If you have an ideology, no, don't come as a profession. Politics can never be a profession. It should be a passion, as Mr. Yechury said. If you're convinced that you have that kind of feeling for the people, then you do come into politics.
Okay, I'm going to go on to another question, but I'm going to come back to you. The question you didn't answer was whether Rahul Gandhi is there because of his innate talents or because he's got a great name.
He is there because of his commitment to the nation. He is there because people love him and because he's really concerned.
So it's his talents and not his name?
He is talented. He's absolutely talented.
It's his talent or his name? Which is it?
Talent and name both.
Oh, I see.
First name and then talent.
All right, gentleman in the front row, in the white shirt.
I think the electoral politics as it is being conducted now is actually a sham, because the type of muscle power and the money power, maybe the left must understand this, that they have a slightly more moral ground, but yet they are not winning elections only because of the fact that resources are less on the electoral front. So whoever has money, whoever has muscle, today wins the election, not merit. This is what we have seen.
Rita Bahuguna.
No, I disagree with this because you see, as far as my own state is concerned, let me give an example. All people whom you call muscle men, 90% lost. Money never brings you into power directly. If you don't have clout with the people, if you don't have sympathy of the people, support of the people, money alone cannot bring you in. Neither can money bring you in.
Okay.
Neither can muscle bring you in.
Sitaram Yechury.
Neither can only ability bring you in. It has to be a combination.
What you said is, I would agree largely with you that these are factors that are distorting our democracy. Our electoral process today, money power, muscle power, or your caste considerations, or your regional considerations, these are not truly, truly improving the democracy in India, which is what you should.
I'm specifically referring to the dynastic politics. You mentioned about daddy's money, daddy's brand. And I think that is actually happening even at the corporation levels. Forget about the parliamentary levels. Only when there is a brand and there is muscle and money, you win the election. Simple as that.
Sudheendra Kulkarni, briefly.
You see, this is a disease. Today, money power, muscle power is polluting our democracy. And this is made worse by dynastic politics because increasingly people are getting into politics to make it into a business. It's become a business empire.
Okay, gentleman in the second row.
Mr. Kalikesh Singh Deo, you mentioned about companies like Tatas and Birlas and Ambanis. There, what is at stake is a company. Here we are talking of the entire country. We can't, because of dynasty, we can't put the entire country at stake. You're a senior leader in the party, ma'am. I just have one question for you. Do you and all other senior leaders in Congress party at the center put together believe honestly that Mr. Rahul Gandhi is more efficient than all of you?
No, he's the voice of young India and he has worked hard. He has not taken any position which you will call a position of lucrative position. He's not been in the government. He's not taken any special position within the party. I think in 10 years, he has proven that he can lead the nation.
So then why directly for a prime ministerial candidate?
65% of India is young and he has become the voice of the young. So we want to promote him.
Okay, I'm going to bring Sudheendra Kulkarni in.
You see, Rahul Gandhi has absolutely no experience of governance. He's been in parliament. And even in parliament, his performance has been very episodic. you can't really recall any great speech on any major issue that he's spoken. Now, you want to entrust Prime Ministership of India, a nation of 1.2 billion people, to Rahul Gandhi, who is totally inexperienced. Tell me which company, which organization would, give the leadership of that organization to someone who is totally inexperienced, who is not tried and tested.
But the point
Yes,
is,
yes, go ahead.
He's extremely experienced. He knows the pulse of the nation, and a government is not run by an individual. It is run by a party and a ministry and a cabinet.
No.
So I think we have enough experience
eventually
with
the
him.
people have to decide.
And
Sitaram
it's the
Yechury.
people who have to decide who becomes the prime minister.
Sitaram Yechury.
Let's not merit the issue of individuals, whether they're qualified or not qualified. Eventually, in a democracy, it's the people who will have to decide. If they don't give a majority to that party, he will not be the prime minister.
I think the Congress has made it very clear that they want Rahul Gandhi as a leader. It's up to you to vote or not vote for him.
No. This is really, putting the issue in a wrong perspective, because the largest party, the oldest party, if it becomes a victim of dynasticism, the people have no choice.
Let me say one
Why can't
thing.
they vote for
here.
your
Let
party?
me ask you a question.
Excuse me.
This party.
I am here.
This party.
Please,
Just
you've
one
spoken a
question.
lot.
One
Let him
important
speak.
question. The Congress party was led during the freedom struggle by Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the nation. Is there any member of the Mahatma Gandhi, the real Gandhi of India, in politics today?
The Gandhi family, Mahatma Gandhi family itself chose out of politics. We did not force them. Now, as far as the Nehru family is concerned, they have contributed immensely to this nation pre-independence and post-independence.
And that is why India is in today's mess.
Every time they were in power, they have given new dimensions. See, the Gandhi family has given new dimensions to the nation, whether it was Jawaharlal Nehru or Indira Ji or Rajiv Gandhi.
I'm going to stop this for a moment.
And Mrs. Gandhi refused to be the prime minister.
Please, don't all speak. Please,
One comment.
Very briefly.
Yeah, very briefly. Remember, this was the country that defeated Indira Gandhi once. This was the country that defeated the Congress and made his party run the government for 6 years.
But this is...
So, please remember.
And Bihari Vajpayee did not belong to any dynasty.
That's not the point.
Mrs. Gandhi refused to be the prime minister. Mrs. Gandhi refused to be the prime minister.
No, but the point
Can you see that?
The point
345 MPs wanting Mrs. Gandhi.
Please don't all speak at once.
Yechury ji, 345 MPs requesting Mrs. Gandhi to become prime minister, and she refused.
Okay, gentleman in the front row.
Thanks so much. It's good to hear, but unfortunately, I'm against the motion today. But you talked about Voice of India. First, he has to speak to hear a voice. He hasn't spoken yet. We don't know what his views are, so he still has no voice on many, many issues. Coming to the motion, and one of the reasons I'm against it is, while all of these guys are talking for ideal situation, yes, there should be no dynasty. But the fact is, I believe, let it continue, because there is no second rung of leadership. The dynasties have not allowed a second rung of leadership to come up. And if they move out, there'll be a complete collapse of the political system.
Okay, Sitaram Yechury.
Well, I don't think so. No, in the sense, as I said earlier at the outset, if the son or a daughter or anybody in the family, they are capable of and they are efficient to discharge the job, yes, there's no problem. What you're saying, I agree with. But the point is, don't therefore justify it by saying, let dynasty politics continue because we have no other choice. The choices are there. Where did the non-dynasty people come from?
The contrarian example to that is, in your party, there is the issue of, if not dynasty, dictatorship. In your party, there's an issue of discipline, unfortunately. And the problem is, we've seen what is happening to the BJP. It collapses because there is no discipline in the BJP. Every state leader is in their own right a leader of the nation as well. So the problem is, unless you develop a strong layer of leadership, if this whole charisma goes off, charisma is at a huge premium in this country.
Sudheendra Kulkarni, react to that. Strong layer of leadership underneath the dynasty.
You see, if no chance is given for leaders with potential to come up, then obviously, you will create a hypothesis that there's no alternative.
So your party gave enough chance. So your party has given enough chance to have leaders come up. Nitin Gadkari has no say in the party. Everybody knows that.
No.
Your chief ministers don't listen to him.
Nitin Gadkari started as a grassroots worker.
So your chief
Every single top leader in our party, he doesn't belong to any family.
Okay,
whereas
let
in
the
the
questioner
Congress
come
party,
back. Let the questioner come back.
Please,
Let the questioner come back. Excuse me, Rita
So with due
Bahuguna, let the
respect, I don't
questioner
stand
come
on
back.
any side of the political spectrum, but with due respect, chief ministers can dictate their wishes to your party president. But that's the bottom line.
No, but some of them are very capable chief ministers.
Let him finish.
My point is this. In the Congress party, there were great leaders, like even after independence, And you know, her own father, Bahuguna, Hemwati Nandan Bahuguna, was a very distinguished, you know, very capable leader. And the very name Bahuguna means a person with many qualities. There are many Bahugunas in the Congress party, but they are not, you know, they are nowhere today near making a claim to prime ministership, because you have someone who has no gunas and who wants to become prime minister, and you want to make him the prime minister.
Sir, it is Dr. Manmohan Singh. Please don't forget history, don't forget the past. Where does Dr. Manmohan Singh belong? He belongs to a very humble family. Let me put my point through, Mr. Kulkarni. And 10 years he's been the prime minister. Where was Lal Bahadur Shastri? Lal Bahadur Shastri came from the lowest you know, family, financial, economic background. He became the prime minister of this country. So don't generalize these issues, please. And we are proud of the Nehru-Gandhi family because they've contributed immensely to the nation. You may not agree because you're a political opponent, but the nation knows and the history knows.
All right, lady in the dark grey. Yes, you, please, if you'd stand up. Thank you.
Good evening. Sir, my questions to you, Mr. Kulkarni. You said that Congress has become a victim to the dynasty politics. I just want to know that what has BJP become a victim to, knowing that the crime rate is same in both the dynasties?
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, it's a good question, because even our party today has become a victim in many places of corruption, of criminalization, and we are extremely worried about these things, you know, becoming somehow a characteristic of our party.
So what are you going to do about it?
Whereas our core values are different.
So what are you going to do about it?
We are fighting from within.
What does that mean?
And we'll continue to fight from within.
What does that mean?
That means that, you know, those who are guilty must be punished.
That'd be a change. That'd be a change.
Of course, it's a difficult task, but we are at it.
But that only means, if I can have your permission, that only means only one sentence, that he is not going to last in the party very long.
You know, it doesn't matter. You have to fight for your principles.
Yeah, that's very good.
Gentleman in the front row, please.
Right now, the panelists are being very idealist about the whole situation. Let's give you all a reality check here. Talking about politics as a business. Well, the campaigns that go on, they need resources. So that is advertising. The politicians themselves, they are the products who get voted into parliament. And the support staff is the rest of the party in power.
Okay,
so
do you have a question?
Yeah, I'm getting to it.
Please.
So right now, I'm saying, if it is actually a business, in a very realistic perspective, why not let the people who are kids of big political families take advantage of the brand equity that their forefathers have already established? The demographic here, they trust a certain name and they will vote for it because there is trust and confidence in a person that they have seen run the country for a long time.
Okay, Rita Bahuguna, you'd go along with that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, certainly.
Great idea.
I feel, yeah.
Brand equity.
Yeah, majorly he is right. Not brand, but there are certain political families who have contributed immensely to the growth of the nation and people's service. So people believe in those names, but once only. Only once will they vote for the progeny, and if they don't prove themselves, they will be ousted.
No.
You see,
Sudheendra Kulkarni.
we have to, ours is an ancient nation. For centuries, we were ruled by kings and emperor, and unfortunately, that habit, that mindset is still continuing. But we must realize that we are today a democracy. We have adopted a democratic constitution, and therefore we must now adopt democratic values.
The point of familiarity still exists. If a person has an option between A and B, he will always go for the option which is more familiar and garners more confidence in his head. That is the mindset of the entire demographic we're talking here. It's basic fundamental anthropology.
I don't think so. I don't think that is the mindset of the people of India. Otherwise, many big those who had brand equity, like Indira Gandhi, would not have lost. Politics is not a product and a brand and an equity. You're not selling soaps. You are selling ideas. You are selling a vision. If you don't have that vision, if you don't have that ideas, it's not a soap that you've inherited from your father.
Let him come back.
You're selling.
Let him come back.
This is it sounds good idealistically speaking, but let's bring you back to reality here. This is what is actually happening in the country. So why not just go with what is happening right now and try to improve it rather than keep going back to ideal ideas?
My dear young man, it's only those who want to change the system do not accept the reality.
Okay, Kalikesh Singh
This
Deo.
reality has to change. We are there to change it.
Sitaram Yechury.
And
You know,
not
brand
become
Sitaram
equity-
Yechury.
Yeah.
brand
Kalikesh
equity
Singh
is
Deo,
not
please,
the.
come in.
It's an important factor. It's not the only factor. I fought against another family member of mine. So ultimately, the voters decided one is better than the other.
So it was a sort of family feud, was it?
Long-standing. But ultimately, the voter decides not just on the family name, but also on whatever he or she thinks is important for them to make the decision.
Okay, lady in the second row.
My question is to Mr. Sitaram. As you said that you want to change the society, you want to clean the diseases in the society. So going back to the point of dynastic politics, what steps your party have taken or planning to take to clean this disease?
Well, our party is concretely suggesting, for example, the vices that are distorting our democratic system like money power, how it should be corrected, how electoral reform should be brought about. These are proposals my party has made in the parliament which are being discussed. Committees have been formed but unfortunately delayed. Tell me, are you not worried that in these last 60 years, there's not been one government in the center which commanded more than 50% of the vote that people have voted? Those who governed our country, they got more votes against them than they got for. Shouldn't we fine-tune the system? Shouldn't we bring in proportional representation?
Sudheendra Kulkarni.
What we need today to cleanse the system is radical political reforms. And an important element of political reforms, electoral reforms, is state funding of elections, so that political parties do not depend on money bags, big corporate houses.
Okay.
The state takes the responsibility of funding political parties in a very transparent, democratic
Let me
way.
bring Rita Bahuguna in on that.
We should have faith
Electoral
in...
reform. Electoral reform?
We should
You
have
go for
faith
that?
in... Yeah, of course. We have always been fighting for electoral reform and we want... that.
Fighting? You've been in power for 53 out of 64
no,
years.
It is the election commission which suggests, and it is the parliament which decides. Mrs. Gandhi not once, several times as the leader of the house, had endorsed the election commission's recommendations, but the parliament did not pass it.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. And now we are going to vote on the motion, ladies and gentlemen, that politics should no longer be a family business. If you are against politics as a family business, that's the team on my right, you're going to need to press button 1 if you're against politics as a family business. If you support politics as a family business, that's the team on my left, it's button 2. Whichever one you want to press, please do it now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the audience has spoken. The verdict is in. 78% of you are against politics as a family business. 22% of you support politics as a family business. So the motion has been resoundingly carried. Let me just compare that with the vote before the debate, which was incredibly exactly the same. 78% against dynastic politics, 22% in favour of it. Nobody, of course, changed your mind. Quick reaction from you. From your side.
I think you need to disassociate families from the wrongs in the political system. They're not linked.
Okay, Sudheendra, from your side,
The
quick
people have
reaction.
spoken, especially young India has spoken. They want an India of equal opportunities, and that's what they will get.
All right, okay, thanks.
And the least members...
Our thanks to our speakers and to you, the audience, here in the studio and around the world. Do keep in touch with us via our website, www.theoutsider.tv. Till the next time, from the Indian city of Mumbai, good night.